Alright, so the first important question is, can you guys hear me? Need to make sure everything is working okay as far as audio and such goes. Can people hear me? Yes? No? Maybe? Because I'm under the impression that I am live, according to my stream. Okay, excellent. So up first is going to be SAS versus NB. NB. Let me get the overlay up too. So we can have that going on. Alright, so without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into game one. Except I'm in the maps folder, we need replays, Gambit Cup. Alright, so going into game one of SAS versus NB on Fighting Spirit, it looks like, for game one. So it looks like spawning in the top left as the orange Zerg we have SAS Dinot, and in the bottom right as the brown Protoss we have NB Mazur. Update. This guy, all lowercase, huh? Mazur's brown, right? Yeah, Mazur's brown. Okay. Alright, so getting into it, we see nothing too crazy yet. Starting to get going with the drones. We got the Overlord's going to be scouting, obviously incorrectly given that it's cross positions and no one scouts really ever diagonally with an Overlord. We do see down at the natural, it looks like there's a probe here to build a pylon, so we're going to see pretty standard play. We're not going to see any crazy two-base play or anything of that sort. Turn down my sound just a little bit, slightly overpowering. There we go. And we're actually going to go ahead and see what looks like a 9-pool opening here from Dinot, who, by the way, is a well-known old-school foreigner. He's actually recently started laddering again, and I don't know if he's just overtaken, but I think Ace might have gotten up there, but I know for a while there he was second on the ladder behind only Dove, who obviously absolutely dominated the ladder. And we do see the gas, so we're going to have a little 9-pool speed here. So we'll see if Mazur can be properly prepared, have probes in place and such to block and deal with this opening. Forge is on the way, and he is doing the double scout with the probes. You do see this fairly often, and I think the main reason people like to do it is they can get to the Zerg's base fast enough in time to decide if they want to add more cannons or if they can just go ahead and Nexus first, or how they want to play that out. So obviously this probe is going to find him here quite soon. Overlord is not quite going to see that probe, so he will still have no idea where Protoss is. And we see a drone scout going out now, which is going to be important, so he knows which direction to send the links. He's going to have to go scout down here so he knows Zerg's location when he sends these links. And we do see he's about to get speed, then he should take a couple drones off gas, most likely. There we go. Yes, see him taking drones off. He'll probably leave one on. No, actually going to leave none on. And looks like get ready to. Whoa, did he kill the probe? He did kill the probe. Okay, so the drone kills the probe down here at the natural, and we see that the links are out now and on the way. And he is adding just one cannon. Definitely needs to add that second cannon now here soon. I'm a little worried for him as he's only adding one cannon. It is cross position though, so he's got that going for him. He'll be able to change direction of these links pretty quick, actually splitting them up a little bit as he has not quite located where Protoss is. Protoss is definitely going to go ahead and get that Nexus first, but he's definitely going to need to pull probes here because 6 links can absolutely kill one cannon. There's no way he's going to have a second cannon, so if he doesn't pull probes, this is going to be really disastrous for him, and I'm kind of surprised. I guess maybe he saw the drone down there and was a little worried. He's got no probes pulled. Come on, is there going to be a probe pull? It's just one cannon against 6 links. I don't think there's any way this cannon can possibly live, and it actually looks, interestingly enough, the links are just going to run on by. I'm kind of surprised by this. I know he's got his speed going, but he likely could have just ran in and killed this cannon. So he's going to have 3 links here. See how close he is to having his speed done. It's pretty close. They're going to be pretty annoying. Probably just going to wait for speed and then really pick up the harassment here. Not quite as terrible as when you have, 4, God forbid, 5 or 6 links, but 3 are definitely still enough to be very obnoxious. Going to make him lose a lot of mind time. He's going to have to do this. He's going to have constant scouting intel for quite some time until his zealot's out. So this is going to be really, really obnoxious for Mazur to deal with, trying to do his best here to glitch the probes on the links and hopefully get a few kills, but he just needs to be careful. The links doesn't want to take too much damage. There we go. Already picked off 2 probes. So 3, you need to be careful with these links though. They're getting a little low on health. Now running in here, we see behind the minerals actually really going after this probe here. Is he going to be able to pick it off? Not quite going to decide to retreat down here. Just trying to pick more probes. Just needs to be careful not to get overly surrounded by the probes. Can't afford to go too far into the minerals, or else he will get really heavily drilled. As you can see right there, if you get in the middle of that, these links will get cleaned up. How's the health on him? Doing a good job. Let's see how many kills do they have each. We've got 1 ling with 1 kill and 1 ling with 3 kills. Already 4 probe kills for these lings. I definitely want to do a little bit of damage with this, obviously, given that it definitely delays your economy quite a bit. Slower hatches, and we do see got this coming out, and he's actually discontinued to produce drones and has not started to re-get gas yet. Missouri needs to get control of these probes. This is just a lot of idle probes. It's kind of chilling. This 1 ling chasing around that probe, eventually giving up the chase here. And we see actually a zealot is going to head straight out to the base of D-Nut, but there are 2 lings there, so let's see that, and he'll be quite aware of that. This probe here is about to get picked off. He should chase it with the ling. Alright, but doing a nice job pulling back in the middle line. He actually gets glitched on with the probes, but does manage to keep the ling alive, so still in the base being really obnoxious. A lot of times you'll see Zerg when they get down to 1 ling, they'll just keep it moving about and use it as a scouting ling, but we can see that D-Nut is still trying to do a little bit of harass with it, and he has gone ahead and made his 3rd hatchery and is now working on his lair as well. Probing up to the mineral lines here. Any vulnerable probes directly that he can pick off? I'm not sure. The ling finally gets cleaned up though, so he does lose that scouting ling, so overall not too terribly handled by Missouri. Did lose 4 probes to that though. Probably a little more they would have liked. Maybe some lag, I don't know. About that comment. And we see 1 ling coming, or 1 zealot coming in here, but obviously not going to be an issue as there are a whole bunch more speedlings on the way. And I'd really almost like to see him either get that cannon defended or add a 2nd cannon, because there's still a lot of lings. There we go. He's going to add that 2nd cannon now, because there's still a lot of lings on here with speed. And I mean, 8 lings with speed can easily take out 1 cannon. And then if that cannon goes down, Zerg can just flood with speedlings from 3 hatches. Let's take a look at the situation. Continuing to make drones, although he did make another round of lings here. It looks like he's sending them out just to check other bases and see what is going on. And we do see the core now finally on the way from Missouri, obviously a little bit delayed. Has probes in a nice blocking position here to defend that cannon. And I don't know, didn't fully scout everything. We see another hatchery going down. So it looks like D-Nut is just going to go ahead and transition into fairly standard play here, having somewhat equalized his disadvantage by being able to get in there and pick off a few probes. Another random zealot that keeps getting sent up, also getting picked off. So these zealots have not really worked out overly well for Missouri. And we see these lings are going to go ahead and come down here. They shouldn't be able to do any damage now, though, as there are zealots in place as well as 2 cannons. And I don't think he'll even try. But he's going to find his probe here and intercept it, so he's going to get denied on scouting intel once again. I need to be careful. Alright, but not really a whole lot you can do with the probe against speedlings. They're just too fast. Really easy right now for Zerg to set down scouting as long as he keeps tabs on the movement of these probes, although this one here may be able to sneak out. But these lings are heading in almost the perfect direction. Are they going to see? Oh, it turns them away just the last second, nearly finding that probe. But we can see really nice patterns here from D-Nut as he looks for it. Oh, splitting up the lings actually to get vision of the probe. He's almost got complete vision. Can the probe slip through the 1 crack in the vision? Oh, absolutely not. This ling is gonna run right into this ling. And we'll see how quickly D-Nut reacts. Are doing a nice job. So will the probe get any scouting intel at all? Getting blocked off. He actually made it across the bridge. How much information is he going to be able to get? Let's see there's 2 hatcheries, but he did not get to see drone counts. I doubt he came close enough to see whether or not there was gas or anything. This overlord needs to be pulled back. Oh, go. It's going to go down. It's going to go down. D-Nut unfortunately losing an overlord to the cannon, though. Obviously not intentional. And we see a whole bunch more lings. I can't tell if that's, what, I see 4. See maybe 10 lings there? Or 9 or 10 lings coming in. I don't know if he's going to try to run by, or if they're just going to be here to keep tabs on the Protoss. But I don't think they'll be able to do a whole lot of damage. We see Corsair on the way as well as getting +1. So most likely Missouri is going to go ahead and try to get a decent number of Corsairs out. Would not make sense to get +1 air weapons just to make like a Corsair. Where is the status of his leg speed? Leg speed is either done or not started. I'm going to assume not started. Got a nice little wall here with Goon and 2 zealots. Actually looks more like an old school PvZ, like from a couple years ago, where Protoss really like to make that first Goon to chase away scouting overlords in the main. It should show on the calendar. Go check the calendar. I mean, I saw Gambit's Cup on the calendar. Although for me, it's never shown up. It never shows up on the calendar until like the day of, and then it just randomly appears like a few hours before the cast. And we do see a creep colony being added here, as well as it's interesting placement for that creep colony, because the zealots can just surround that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's something I don't know about the creep colony, but it seems like weird positioning to me. We do see missile attacks going, as well as Hydra speed being upgraded. Kind of waiting to see. It looks like he is going full swing into Hydra production. Actually, no, still making a few drones as well, and getting Overlord speed. We see Corsairs being made. Storm on the way for Protoss, as well as a DT. A DT and a High Templar being made. So we basically have a Corsair DT opening, which you don't see as much these days. Like I said, it does have a little bit of the old school PvZ flavor to it. And we actually see 3 hatches here, so it looks like we actually have 6 hatches from our Zerg player. So it'll be a fairly aggressive Hydra play here. Yeah, as he's now getting his range for his Hydras, so he's going to have a whole bunch of Hydras here to work with against Nazur's army. Where does Nazur go with that DT? Is he just using it? Okay, just using it here to help secure the Expo. Pick up any lings that try to come in and deny the making of that. Just probably going to put it on the ramp too. Or not. I guess the DT now it's going to run into these lings, but we can see the Hydras are now beginning to move down as range is really close to being finished. And he's going to try, I think, to deny this third base. And to be honest, as long as he can find a way to deal with that DT, which he should, because he was getting Overlord speed, he should be able to deny this third base. I don't think there's enough units out from Mazur to actually be able to hold this third base. There we go, the Overlord is there. So now the Hydra's moving in. He's going to need to get off that ramp in a hurry. He does not have his Templar over there. So obviously no third base going to happen right now for Mazur, who just needs to get these units out of the way. Oh, but doing a nice job. He's actually going to be able to surround off one Zealot and cut off that Zealot's retreat. Lings are busy picking away at this Zealot and a whole bunch more Hydras streaming down. And we actually see a DT up here in the thing. He's going for drones. He's got 1 drone, but he is now definitely aware of it. Here's the second colony going. Second colony finishes. Will the DT die? No, it gets out of there with just a few HP. We see the whole bunch of Hydra down here. How many Templar does he have? Only 2 Templar, both with 1 Storm each. And I don't know. I'm kind of worried because that is a big army. If he does a decent job with his Storm dodges here, this Templar does not have a Storm. This could be really scary because there are a lot of Hydras coming out right now for D-Not, who looks like he is ready to go in there and bust. Here we go. He's actually going to go for it, so he needs to be really careful about these storms. 1 huge storm. He needs to pull back quickly. Alright, so nice job. Actually didn't take terrible damage from that. First it looked like it was just going to kill a huge amount of Hydras. Maybe deciding, no, that busting in right now is not the best idea against a Protoss that has storm. I'm trying to figure out where that DT went. It survived. Okay, it went over here. It's kind of hard to see the difference between brown versus yellow. We see it has 2 kills, but that was just from the 2 drones it picked off up here. And we do see the Corsair fleet now moving out for Mazur. What do we have here at his base? He's got 1 damage cannon. He still has a couple storms, though. Okay, so he's got 1 storm. He's basically going to have about 4 storms the next time he comes out, or D-Not tries to come in. And that DT trying to sneak in here. Did it just die? I heard the Hydra shooting at it. I think it just died because it was really, really low on health. And we do see a couple Corsairs getting scourged, and over here we see a drone getting ready as Zerg gets ready to consider taking his 4th base. Corsairs are just kind of flying around. What is he researching? Is he getting Lurker, or does he have Lurker? I don't know. Looks like it's just continuing to produce mass Hydra. I'm going to assume the DT died, because I heard the Hydra's shooting. Oh, no, never mind. It's still here with just a tiny bit of health. It is really, really hard to see a brown DT on this tiny mini-map in window mode. But I will try to keep tabs on that in case it goes to do stuff. A whole bunch of idle probes here from Azure. There we go. Finally telling them to go mine. It's kind of looking grim though, because Zerg has produced a huge army, is taking a 4th, and Mazur is still pent up on 2 bases with what honestly seems to me like a very small army. Although there's a bit more in the main here, not right into the natural. And there are lurkers now, so this is a really bad situation for Mazur, as getting contained across these bridges is really unpleasant, and this is going to be really, really hard to break. And he's only got 3 Templars, so just a few storms, so we'll see what he tries to do against this contain of D-Not, who is just scouting around, making sure there are no hidden expos, and luckily for him, there are not. Protoss has not managed to sneak anything in. No sign of hive yet, though. What is shooting there? Oh, okay, he's actually needing to kill his cannon so he can get his dragoons out and be able to try to do something about this containment. We see a few hydras here working their way over to the 4th base, I guess, to defend it against any possible DT set. And there we go, sure enough, as soon as the contain set up, we see D-Not is going to go ahead and drone up quite heavily. And I don't know about this, maybe trying to snipe the obs, but he does not want to get the zealots in here. Alright, doing a nice job with just using the dragoons to pick off lurkers. And another thing you can do is take a storm. You throw one storm down on the lurker, and then take one dragoon shot, and you can pick off lurkers, and you can just kind of eat away at the contain that way to weaken it for when you actually try to bust out. See that? There you go, the storm, and then followed up with one dragoon shot. This dragoon kind of being dumb. The Hydra's actually running in. I'm not sure if he's ready to run with the Hydras yet. I don't know why he's doing this. Maybe he thought this was a full-on attack from Protoss, and quite a few more lurkers being more for D-Not, who has what looks to be pretty solid drone saturation. Each base is actually now taking a 5th base as well. Yeah, he's got really, really solid drone saturation at all of his bases. And it looks like he's also going to move some lurkers maybe over to the bottom of this ramp as well, so that if Protoss decides to take his whole army and try to go out this way, there will be units there that he can easily set up to defend that. And look at this whole huge more stream of Hydras and Lings coming on down to the base, and Hive is on the way as well. D-Not moving into a really comfortable position as he continues to drone. And, I mean, yeah, maybe if Mazur, like, busts this, he could possibly come out and do some damage, but it is looking really bleak as he's contained super heavily from both sides, top of the ramp with lurkers. I mean, this is borderline unbreakable. And Mazur starting a 5th base over here. Or not Mazur, D-Not starting a 4th base. The only thing we do see... Alright, they're finally getting done. I guess he's got missile upgrades. He's really close to his 2nd carapace. No, his first he actually has no carapace. So these zealots are going to be really strong against Zerglings, but I don't think Zerg really has any intention of trying to bust Protoss. I think he's just going to wait for Protoss to get starved out. And I don't know, Mazur is not really trying to do a whole lot against the contain, although admittedly it's pretty difficult to do with. Or he's trying to put a little pressure. He actually has a really big storm on these, and he's trying to run a few zealots up here and break up this lurker field, but honestly I'm not sure how effective this is going to be. Pretty good storms though, but being forced to morph that into an Archon. And we do see the supplies right now about 150 to 185, which is pretty typical for PvZ, but once D-Not hits that max, it's going to get really unpleasant for Mazur. Nice job with the zealot though to pick off what remains of that lurker. And it looks like he's going to completely actually be able to clear this area out, and then we're going to try and run his army out the other side. We'll see if he does indeed opt to go for that. No drones transferred here yet. Next batch of upgrades being started. This overload's going to need to get out of there. Actually, we'll just go ahead and die. And yes, he's going to go ahead and try to come down this way. So we see D-Not repositioning his forces to get back in place. Not sure about this running lurkers in, but we'll see if it works. Those are getting kind of caught out of position. He's got a nice spot, gets the storm off, hitting a few lurkers. We're running with a whole big army, and the bad thing is he does not have his army down the ramp. It's going to come down to a few storms, which are pretty darn good storms, but his whole army was not at all collected. I don't know if he's trying to get a piece out of it to flank with, but this did not work out at all for him, although he did do some pretty heavy damage with the storms. He's just not in a position where he can afford to trade units with the Zerg whatsoever. He needs to be really, really efficient. We did see, though, that all those Hydras did die to those storms. And we see a few Lings running in right now. And streaming down a whole bunch more Hydras. I'm not even sure. I guess he's going to try and get over here to take a base or bust out, I'm not sure. But we see a whole huge conga line coming down from D-Not here. Not sure if this is the best place for D-Not to engage with Lings. Nice storm being thrown down there. Going to soften up or kill quite a few Lings. Does he have any more to throw down? Not on that Templar. He definitely does not. Maybe Zerg's just thinking at this point he has enough to go ahead and just engage this force, but I'm not sure about this attacking up the ramp. But he's at that point where he's just going to start throwing units at Protoss, but obviously it's not working as Zealots are clumped up behind an Archon. And we do see the supplies now fairly even. Alright, so he has gotten his army up here. Mazur is going to try and take a 3rd, but obviously that's a really late 3rd. He's got his 3rd at the same time the Zerg is getting his 6th base. And he's going to pull away his units, but I'm kind of worried about this, because the moment he pulls away his units, all these lurkers are going to run up here, lurkers and Lings, and totally deny his base. Oh, we gotta drop up here. He's trying to drop with the shuttle, Looks like it's just zealots though, so I'm not sure how much damage that'll do. Be more annoying than anything. It's like a one. No, never mind. It's a 4 zealot drop. Okay. But they're gonna get cleaned up. There should be enough hydras here that'll have no problem dealing with that whatsoever. These last two, especially with the help of the sunken. Trying to pick off this hydra will not be able to, and that other zealot will die quite shortly. There we go. All cleaned up, so no worries there from that. Man, these colors are really hard. This is really hard to see the shuttle on brown on a brown map. He's trying to change it with Scourge, but the Scourge gave up too soon. Not quite able to get there. I don't know. They probably still wouldn't have got the shuttle either way, but... Alright, and we have a huge attempt here from Mazur to try and break out, trying to get out with his massive army here. We'll see what Zerg can do here. He's going to move in with the flanks. There are quite a lot of lurkers set up, and he's burrowing right now. No, I think he's trying to get a little bit better spread as he burrows. Doesn't want to lose all his lurkers to just 1 or 2 swarms, as that is really devastating. That's one of the reasons why it's a little risky to be offensive with lurkers against Protoss. I mean, this is just a prime target, and there we see a storm coming in, but even more lurkers coming. He's flanking with lings from both sides. Oh, that's actually just overlords and not really army units. So we can see a lot of the zealots are getting eliminated, and if all the zealots get eliminated, it will just be absolutely cleaned up, this army, because dragoons themselves don't do well against that. We can see almost all the zealots are dead, and it looks like Dinat is going to have no trouble cleaning up this army, and this is going to be really, really, really bad for Mazur, who's basically going to have nothing left, as all kinds more stuff streams on down, despite the clumping and engagement. It just doesn't matter at this point because Dinat has so much more stuff. We see all kinds of stuff for Dinat getting ready to charge into this base here. He's got a few ultras too that he can lead with to soak damage from the cannons as he runs here. He doesn't even need the swarms, and all that's left is a few dragoons, which are pretty powerless to defend against all of this army from Mazur, especially an army of ultraling dragoons are not good, and Mazur forced to say GG. Takes SAS up 1-0. So we'll move into Game 2 on Gladiator. Don't know who plays, but we'll find out. We go into our countdown here. I'm trying to think of Gladiator. I don't even... Is this like a current Pro League map? Why does this map not sound familiar? Either way, spawning in the bottom right as our brown Zerg, we have NB's Flip. As you capital... No, that's not right, is it? Capital L, yeah. And in the top left is the blue Zerg. We have continuing on SAS Dinat. Who is now blue? That's all it needs. Whoa, Flip, you are definitely orange. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we'll have to see what they have prepared as far as builds go. See, both players are going to scout incorrectly with their overlord, although they will know each other's location as soon as the overlords meet. And right now, it looks like both players are at least getting their overlords, so we're not going to see any overgas builds. Obviously no crazy fast pools or anything of the sort. And just waiting to see, it looks like he's saving up money, so probably going to be a 12 hatch here for Dinat, and we have gas from the Zerg. Actually, we do have an overgas from Zerg, from Flip, which, if I remember correctly from what no one tells me, Dinat's going to be really happy with this, because the gas advantage doesn't become that relevant as a 12 hatch gas quickly cancels it out, and the lings aren't fast enough to be super deadly, but I could have that wrong. So we do see that the drones are starting to mine gas for Flip, and actually, never mind, we've got a 12 pool. I lied. It's 12 pool from Zerg, or from Dinat. And yeah, no problem, Bakir. Your name is hard to say. Bakiryu? Spell it in chat so I actually know how to pronounce it correctly. We see, there we go, the hatch now as well. And the pool is about to finish here for Flip, and the pool close, actually almost identical pool timings, I guess. I actually did not realize that Overgas and 12 pool have really similar pool timings. You see Lair is started. Lair not quite on the way yet for Dinat. So we'll see if he can do anything with these faster meta. Well, I assume he's going to start. I assume Dinat's going to start his Lair here. under gas. No, he's actually going to get Ling speed first. So he's going to have a significantly slower layer than will Flip, who will have quite a bit of gas to work with, and now starting to produce Lings. And he does not yet know the location. Actually, no, he should be able to infer the location. He should know that Zerg is over here, just from having seen that Overlord, from them having crossed scouting paths. And we do see Ling Speed on the way for Flip. We did get Lair before Ling Speed, whereas D-Not went for Ling Speed first. We do see the Lings of Flip moving on. How close is he to be really done? Yeah, Ling Speed is about to finish, so we'll see what he can do here for pressure. He will have a huge mobility advantage. One Ling here from D-Not. Obviously going out to scout, it's going to be caught, and we'll see if Flip opts to chase it and pick it off. He does have speed, so it looks like, yes, he's going to try to deny that scouting information from D-Not. A few more Lings in position to do that. Oh, but he moves at the wrong time. He almost had it. He almost had it surrendered. All right, finally able to pick it off using his superior speed. So we'll see. We've got I see 9 Lings here for D-Not against the 12 or so of Flip. So this is kind of scary. Kind of a scary position. He does have 2 hatches and actually quite a few more Lings now just starting to pop as well. And we do see, I don't think he's going to have to be that aggressive, as both players now have their speed out, and D-Not has plenty of Lings. But he's trying to come in here and pressure and poke around a little bit, but he really can't do any damage. He's got a much better arc, though, so Flip going in with his much better arc, realizing, though, there's probably just too many Lings, and going to go ahead and pull back as more Lings stream up. We see the Spire are pretty close. And, yeah, definitely looking at this timing, and also from what Bakir says, I think he definitely will need to get Spores up, especially if he hasn't started a Spire. Maybe he's going to try to win with Mass Ling, though. Let's see. Is he adding? Yes, he does have a creep colony there, so he will have that to drill around. It's in a nice position. He can drill easily here between the minerals and the gas to try to block any Lings from reaching it. And we see he's also setting up Bling Arc. So really, at this point, all Flip has to do is hold until his mutas are out, which are on the way. And I don't know, given the Spire timing, I don't think they'll be soon enough. Unless he has to spend tremendous time cleaning up these Lings or something. And we do see D-Not trying to go ahead and break this, but it's a pretty nice concave, pretty nice setup for Flip. So D-Not is definitely not going to be as efficient as Flip in this engagement, and Flip does have that sunken colony to fall back on, so he's probably not terrified of this. And we see D-Not continue to produce Lings. The Lings from Flip are finally about to cleaned up, so it's going to be a matter of the mutas popping. He's actually not going to opt to use the mutas defending. He's going to go straight for the base, which means he does have to hold these mutas or these Lings off from the sunken, or else it would be a very interesting situation. And he is trying to drill around it, but as he knows there are more Lings coming, I don't know if he does, but he does finally get them cleaned up, so he is fairly safe. And now a whole bunch of mutas rapidly coming up here towards the base of D-Not, who has not opted for any sort of an Evo chamber or anything. So this is looking pretty grim, pretty darn grim, as these mutas come flying on into the base. They're going to start having free reign over the drones. Where's D-Not going to go? I don't know where he's trying to run with these. I guess just away from his base. Not really sure. One dies, not even opting to chase those drones as another muta flies up. We can see a few Lings here. We'll see if he leaves any mutas behind. Yeah, leaving one muta behind to help with the defense of these Lings, and has produced a few. So he should be able to hold this, as the sunken is not overly damaged. But he needs to be careful of these Lings. We see the mutas in the base continuing to pick off the drones of D-Not. It looks like there's just not going to be enough Lings here. He's trying to get a drone kill. He will. I thought he'd get one, but he didn't quite get one. The sunken lives with just a... No, will it? Oh my god, it lives. One Ling shot away from dying, and it lives, but obviously not a very good position at all, because he's lost drones, and he doesn't have anything needed to make spore colonies. He has gotten a whole fleet of Scourge out, though. This Overlord's going to die, and now really all he has to do is take care of the Scourge, and he will be in a lovely, and by lovely I mean a winning spot. So this does not look good for D-Not. He's going to try to micro the Scourge in some way, and Flip continues to micro. Whoa, eats a lot of them, but I think a few of those suicided on staying mutas, but now there are a ton of mutas left for Flip, and absolutely 0 mutas, only Scourge left for D-Not, who is trying to land Scourge hits. Flip, do the micro. He's actually bleeding mutas. He's taking more damage probably than strictly necessary from the Scourge, although probably having a little harder time of it, because D-Not is going to be actively microing these Scourge to try and land them. We see more Scourge coming in right now. He's in a good position here. I wonder if there's a little bit of lag. Hard to tell. Just pick off those Scourge, though, pretty nicely. And even more Scourge trying to come in and trying to reduce these muta numbers. Alright, nice job with the micro there, killing those 2 off quite easily. And it's a matter of surviving these. Is he trying to get up a spore or anything? No, he's just strictly making Scourge, hoping to reduce this muta count. But I honestly don't know. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and start targeting Overlords. I thought he was going to try to camp the muta me to spawn, but they wouldn't have enough time before Flip's mutas return. And he's gonna run right into the Scourge. Takes one, loses a muta actually to that Scourge. Looks like he's got about 4 left as he continues to try and micro against this. D-Not's actually doing, it's a pretty nice delay. I mean, it's been a huge amount of time where Flip has not been able to attack D-Not whatsoever. I guess there was a pause. See a scouting lane from Flip getting picked off, and more Scourge and a drone being produced. So this buying time tactic, will it work? Will it pay off at all for D-Not? And seeing Flip's actually starting to make Scourge, I guess, to intercept D-Not's Scourge. So he's just trading Scourge, I guess, figuring he's confident in his economic lead, and trading Scourge for Scourge. And it looks like, does he want to go back and attack the main base finally? Alright, we see another round of Lings running in. The Sunken is pretty low on health, so these Lings can probably take this down. He's trying to drill around it, but it's going to go down, I think. No, actually pretty good drill by the Lings. Will it live? Again, it lives by just the tiniest margins of health, living with just 10 health. And we see these muta getting ready to go ahead and fly in here. These drones are going to start getting picked off fast. Need to be careful of these Scourge, though, as always. A little bit better job there with the micro. One Scourge still lands, though. Trying to land even more, now pulling away, and even more Scourge showing up. There are so many Scourge out right now from D-Not, who is just delaying the heck out of Flip, who is probably thinking, I just want to kill these drones and be able to win this game. More Scourge landing, more Scourge landing. These Scourge proving to be highly effective against Flip's mutas here. Just having a hard time with the micro, and losing yet another muta. Down to, looks like just 3 muta? But continue to produce a few, actually starting to produce Scourge now, as well as one more muta and a whole bunch of Scourge coming up from Flip. And a few Lings trying to run in, but that Sunken is still alive, although with the tiniest margins of health. D-Not probably thinking, why can't it just be dead? Things would be significantly more annoying if it was. And, whoa, okay, a little Scourge trade there, as almost all of them die, running into each other. We see Flip continuing to try and extend this game, microing against these Lings, or against these Scourge. The only thing that is slightly worrisome is that Flip is only on 1 gas, whereas D-Not is on 2. Although their drone counts are both pretty low. Although, what is he droned up? It looks like he's got 3 on gas. I don't have a chance to take his line. We'll let yet another Scourge land. He picked off that muta, though, pretty nicely, trying to pick off these Scourge. Getting split up just a bit, but continue to be forced to micro against this rather than being able to go and kill a bunch of drones. So I don't know. What is he making? More Scourge and another pair of Lings. How many Scourge is that? So much gas that he's got, and just continue to pummel out tons of Scourge. Still microing against Scourge. That one actually does not quite land. The muta does pick it off successfully. This is kind of a crazy game we're seeing here, as Mass Scourge continues to try and hold off the mutas of Flip. And whoa! He is not paying attention. Hits 2 Scourge into those muta, taking more and more damage. And it looks like he's now going to fly into the main, maybe hoping to be at a good angle to try and pick off some drones. We see him trying to micro against these Scourge. Oh man, another one lands. Can any more of these pairs of Scourge land? I don't know. He's actually starting to get a little more. Actually, yes, that one does land. He loses yet another muta. 2 Lings now running in. D-Not definitely needs to react to this and take care of those, as he has made a few Lings of his own to be able to deal with that. And yet another Scourge landing, finally killing those Scourge, but still left with just 3 muta from Flip. And we actually see an Evo chamber being added now, as D-Not finally saying, yes, I'm going to go ahead and get one to deal with this. And here we go, running on into the main, hoping to find more drones that he can pick off before the Scourge come back to help defend. Does manage to get 1 kill, is now chasing him over to the next base, but there's a whole bunch of Scourge here that he needs to move away from carefully. Another muta dies, and then a Scourge trading for Scourge hits another one, so he's left with just 2 muta right now from Flip. As he's trying to camp over the drones, really needs more Scourge to pop those so he can actually go ahead and chase his muta out and not be forced to run drones like he is right now. Is he? No, there we go, okay. Just running drones to get away from muta. More Scourge popping. Needs to move away, but no, he doesn't. He's left with just 1 muta, which can't really be microed, and that muta actually dies. So all those muta, except for this one here, are completely gone for Flip, who is left mutaless. Although a pair of Scourge appearing to land here against against D-Not. We see right now supply is 15 against 15, 15 against 16. So this is the crazy weird two-hat Scourge. Actually killing some drones though from D-Not, which is not good. But he only has one. He's not paying attention to it. It dies. He's literally sending in individual mutas at a time. Will D-Not opt to make any mutas at all? I don't know if he has the mineral money to do that. He's just continuing to make endless Scourge. Nice to see Lings coming up now as he finally tries to switch back into Lings. Would really like to, and does get rid of that muta. I don't even know if that was able to pick off any drones. It took one very low on health. So we'll see now, can the Lings do anything? This is pretty important. He needs them to be out in time, and they might just be out in time. I think he's got just enough to hold this off. He gets a little bit of a concave. And now actually going to start chasing Flip back out. And we see that the supplies are at 18 to 14 and actually being forced to re-add the creep colony. This is one crazy little game we've got going on. More Scourge being on the way. What does the opting produce? More and more Scourge. Although, are there even more muta coming, or is he just full scale on Lings? I don't know. This is an interesting decision from Flip because he's down a hatch. So just trying to produce Lings. I don't know if that's the best plan because D-Not has the production facilities in place to massively outproduce him. Gives him a chance to get back up in the count. We actually see a couple Lings though getting picked off from D-Not here by Flip as D-Not retreats and goes to get back in a defensive positioning. Looks like he actually might run, just running over to the ramp. And Flip trying to run it. A terrible arc there from D-Not, who takes 2 or 3 Lings for nothing. And now a muta finally out for D-Not. Any more mutas on the way? No, definitely just Lings. So we'll see with this muta. He should have no problem holding. Trying to do the micro on the ramp. See a few more Lings popping at just the right time, getting a nice little surround, picking off those Lings. And Flip actually forced a GG in that game. What a crazy ZVZ, guys. What a crazy game. Flip, who at one point had 3 mutas almost sent to D-Not's undefended base with no mutas, no Scourge, no spores, but in the end unable to hold on against D-Not's 2-hatch Scourge play. Yeah, but the thing I'm curious about the idea of using Scourge as meat shields, though, is that given that, who was it, Flip? Flip had less gas. Like, if he's just trading Scourge for Scourge, then there's still going to be extra Scourge anyway from D-Not. So I don't know if that ends up working out or not from a... Wait, Game 3 is on Gladiator 2? Or did I open the same game? Not paying attention. Okay, I did. So next game is going to be on Jade, going into set 3 of SAS versus NB. Alright, so spawning in the top left as the white Zerg, we have SAS D-Not. Oh yeah, D-Not is up 2-0. Huh. I get points to Flip, sorry. Alright, so D-Not is our white Zerg here. Can I make it? Here we go. And in the bottom right hand corner as our brown Zerg, we have NB Games. So we'll see if D-Not opts for another 2-hat Scourge build for the comeback. Yeah, and I think a valid point by Valkyrie there that if you're going to go overgas, you better be ready for the muta micro, which unfortunately Flip just did not display in that game. I mean, he consistently ate a high number of Scourge, definitely ate over 3/4 of the Scourge that were thrown at him, which was definitely not ideal. And we do see both Overlords are going to scout incorrectly, presumably scouting towards the natural of their opponent, as is typical. So we'll see what build D-Not has in mind for this game. He is on a tear right now, up 2-0 in these games. Who played the first game? SAS, D-Not, and NB Mazur. We see a drone trick, or geyser trick being done to get out an extra drone. Note the 10 out of 9 supply. And it looks like an overgas this time from D-Not. So he's going to be going for that gas advantage, so we'll see what kind of build Flip, or not Flip, it is not Flip, sorry guys, it is Games. We're going to have a, what? Is that a 10 hatch? An 11 hatch? I don't know, there's not a 12 hatch though. So yeah, against overgas from D-Not. And we see more drones are beginning to pop. for both players as they wait for their pool to finish before switching into link production, and the pool just now being placed for Games, who will be happy with his build order here. Although it is interesting that he opted for the slightly faster hatch. That was not a 12 hatch. After he made that hatch, he had 10 supply. So I guess that was like an 11 hatch, because he had 10 supply after he made the hatch. So I don't know what 10 hatch is in ZVZ or what that build is supposed to do. But I think this will be... Actually, I don't know. I think this is sort of an advantage for Games, because he's going to have the more gas to work with. But at the same time, it's a little less economical, because that hatch was a little bit faster. But I don't know 10 hatch. We actually see a sunken already being added for D-Not, because he has not scouted, so he just has to assume that, I guess that something risky is coming his way. Because he doesn't know, I guess, if there's like 2 hatch link production on the way. So just being safe and getting a sunken colony. As we see, Overlords are finally going to meet, and they will know each other's location. Given the Overlord scouting path, links on the way from both players. Actually, it looks like just one pair of links. Or it's possible, maybe that's why I got the sunken is, gonna have a second hatch in main, which makes sense given the fact that he's gone ahead already and thrown. I'm not sure why he made this. I don't know if that was because he made the extra drones and only a pair of lings, or if there was another plan behind that. Scouting lings now heading out to check the opponent's base. These two should meet each other right here. Gonna just go ahead and cross paths. And Games has his link speed out and is getting a nice little arc set up. We see Lair on the way, and Spire actually on the way, just now started for D-Not. As the Lair for Games gets on up. This link is going to try to run it. Actually, will make it in. Actually, there's no link speed, so I lied about the link speed thing. Are either players getting link speed? One is... But no link speed from D-Not this game. We're not going to see. It's very close to being done from Games. We'll be quite glad if he can then chase that link out of his base. Although it might get... Yeah, it does die a little bit before he actually gets there. So, here we go. Is he going to finally move out with links? So, yeah, here come a whole bunch of links. He's actually adding a second creep colony, make that a third creep colony. Whoa, there's a lot of berserk buildings building at once. See, Evo Chamber, we've got a Spire, we've got 2 more creeps. So, probably 1 Spore and 1 Sunk. So here we go, and yeah, actually that's a valid point. Like a creep colony right here, bam. These don't range each other. Can range the hatch, the pool. Probably can't range the Spire though. But here we go. Mass links coming in. There's actually this is 3 Sunkens, guys. This is 3 Sunkens against these, so I think he can hold this. But we'll see. Is there enough links to get in here? He's trying to come in from all sides. Where's he gonna pull the drones? This one's gonna die really fast. The bottom one goes down. He's actually got a pretty good surround on the one up top. It's pretty close to dying as well. Can he do enough damage in time? Actually, I don't know. The Sunkens are barely living. Actually, he's now done just 1 Sunken. There's a ton of links. I don't think he can hold this. The mutas are on the way, I hope, but I don't know if they're going to pop in time. No, he's going to lose all his drones before the mutas pop. And this is going to be a terrible, terrible, terrible position here for D-Not, who looks to be in deep trouble in this game, as all his drones are getting chased by links, trying to run them to buy time before the mutas pop. 3 mutas now on the way, going to start cleaning up these links. More and more links being streamed in for Games, who is also on his way to getting a Spire. So I think he'll be totally fine. And now rushing in, picking off these drones here. Trying to keep them alive by running them away from the mutas, popping a few more. But there's just so little left, and D-Not forced to say GG as Games brings the series to 2-1. So 3 Sunken colonies not enough to stop the mass ling play of Games in that game. So moving on to set 4 on Chain Reaction between NB and SAS. Alright, so in the right hand spawn as the brown Zerg we have the Foreigner Legend Zeke. And after I update my overlay, and in the right hand side as the red Zerg we have NB's Games. So he will have the toughest match of the night up here as he squares off against Zeke. We'll see what he has in mind for this game, knowing who his opponent is. So we see, I guess, Overlord heading down this way, and it looks like it's going to be a correct scout for Zeke here, and an incorrect scout for Game, so Zeke will be very happy about that, and his Overlord will be there very early given the short scouting path, so this is a very nice start for Zeke. He'll be able to react quite well to what Games is doing, whereas Games Overlord will not show up for much later. These games are not old. These are, unless you mean like a few hours old, but no, they're not old. They're very current. And we see an Overlord for both players. So neither player going for crazy pool timings. Okay, so the Overlord does pass quick enough for Games to see it. Oh, the score disappeared from Zeke. Oh, we'll fix that. There we go. There we go. Alright, so we see now the hatch being made. Again, a 10 hatch for Games, or maybe even a 9 hatch. No, it'd be 10 hatch. So 10 hatch for Games, and it looks like for Zeke we have the pool and the gas. So it looks like overgas from Zeke. Yeah, overgas from Zeke. So Games again going for his mass-ling build. Looks like, in fact, the exact same build he did last time. So can Zeke hold this off? As we saw before, 3 sunken colonies was not enough to hold it off, at least not the way that D-Not tried to micro it. And the Overlord's now arriving. And we actually see Zeke going ahead and putting up a hatch in the back as well, as these first lings begin to morph, which he'll probably be glad about since it will give him 2 hatches of lings to help deal with Game's 2 hatches of lings as well. And he has seen this hatch. He has not gone in to scout, but he should know that from the timing of it that it is a little bit done a little bit sooner than it ought to be. And we see Zeke moving lings into the back. Or is this the front? Never mind, this is the front. Ignore. I don't know. Yeah, okay, that didn't make any sense. This is the front of the base, so just ignore that. It's not the back of the base. We do see Lair on the way. Ling speed first for Games, which would make sense given his 10 hatch and mass ling game plan for this game. And Zeke's lair being about halfway to completion. And Games is continuing to mine from the gas with all 3 drones. And it looks like presumably going to be producing nothing but lings, and that is what we see. And what is Zeke making? Zeke making lings, adding a creep colony back here as well to help defend. And his lair is done, so we'll see if he pauses here for a sec to add the spire. He actually needs a little more gas. I guess opting to get his ling speed first so he can have the micro and the mobility needed to try and fight off Game's 2 hatch ling. And there we go, we have the spire now finally on the way for Zeke, whereas the lair timing for Games is about halfway done. So Zeke will definitely have significantly faster mutas. So I don't think they'll be done in. Could they be done in time? They'll be close to popping by the time Games lings arrive. But here we go. A whole bunch of lings for Games moving out right now, and Zeke actually realizing, okay, this could be troublesome, and adding a second creep colony as well. But there are a lot of lings coming from Games. I don't know how many it is, but it is definitely over 2 control groups of lings with speed coming on down here to give Zeke a run for his money. We see his spire getting very close to being done. Actually still a little ways away, and he's just running right in there and trying to move in, trying to find the surface area, doing a nice job with the micro there, getting a good concave. This sunken is going to fall really fast. Zeke actually trying to get us around, but there's more lings from Games coming to reinforce. Are there enough lings to barrel through? There might just be. Zeke being forced to make lings. He cannot make mutas right now, which means he absolutely has to hold, and it does not look good for him holding. It looks like Games may tear through even Zeke with this build, because I don't think there's any mutas on the way. No, he's forced to make lings, so he's just at a terrible disadvantage here as all these lings are in the main. All his drones are dying. He's trying to run them away, but I really don't think he can hold as more and more lings get ready to pop. And yeah, I don't know. I don't think he has enough to deal with all these lings. He's going to go ahead and just target the spire to make sure no mutas get up, which will put him in a great spot because he was actually getting lair and is starting a spire of his own as more lings stream in, and Zeke forced to say GG. So we see the mass ling playing of Games tearing through Zergs here in this match today as game squares it up 2-2. Yeah, I was a little surprised by that too, because Ziki did not make tons and tons of lings. So going into set 5 on Tau Cross between NB and SAS. So continuing on from before, as the Teal Zerg, we have NB Games, and coming out to challenge him and his lings, we have, we're gonna have to use this color. We're gonna have SAS Lokdog. Who I don't know a whole lot about. Like saying, don't know if you're a race picker. Either way, we have a PDZ. Yeah, we did have some interesting PVZs. We had 2-Hat Scourge beating Overgas Muta, and then we had Mass Ling Play tearing through both 1 and 2 base stuff. Oh, why did the score go away? Dang it. There we go. Alright. So we do see the pylon going down. Talcross is a pretty easy map here to go ahead and do walls on. It works very nicely. You can put a forging gateway. Got a nice little gap. So it's quite easy to set up. And we do see a Nightfall on the way for, I think it's Nightfall. Nightfall or so on the way for Games, whose Overlord is moving down the incorrect direction. And we have gas. There we go. Alright, now getting his gas. And looks like Protoss is going to go ahead and throw down that forge. Already has his scout on the way, so he should know pretty soon here that these lings are going to be on the way, as long as he doesn't gamble and try to do a blind nexus first. He will be totally fine. And the probe heading on up, going to go ahead and get to this base. We see all kinds of lings here in production. Actually, he did not end up getting any gas. I lied about the gas. So this is going to be fast, slow lings. He's adding 1 cannon right now. Which is fine because he hasn't scouted anything. But I assume when he sees the next, where'd all the lings go? Oh, just now popping. Okay, lings just now popping. Probe fighting a drone. Probe fighting a drone. Probe appears to be winning. Drone needs to run away. Wait for those lings to come pick it off. Needs to be paying attention. All right, there he is. We'll see if he adds a second cannon. He should. Yes. All right, so he does have both cannons on the way. Race picking is different than randoming. Randoming means you actually like pick random and start the game. Race picking means that like say you don't like you're a Zerg player, but instead of playing ZVZ, you play always TVZ. That's what a race picker is. So we see these lings running in. But if you play a race picker, you go at least certainly by the countdown of the game. You know what race they're picking. They're not picking random against you. Otherwise, this is a random player. We see the 3 hatches going up 4 games. And, you know, for Zerg, it's not the worst trade. Yes, he makes 3 lings and 3 pairs of lings and therefore less drones at an earlier point in the game. But at the same time, he forces P to make several cannons before Nexus. So, to kind of offset that economic disadvantage by also forcing P to take a little bit of an economic disadvantage. And we do see a pro just chilling here. Maybe going to try and slip back in at a later point in time and get in another wave of scouting. Yeah, mirror dodging is definitely the most common. This probe here, though, is found and known about from the Lokdog. But this one over here, not so much. So maybe I'll sneak in and get a look. And what do we have the Zerg player doing? We got a lair, so we got 3 hash lair. Pretty typical stuff so far. Although if he takes another gas, that would be a little less typical. As we wait, we got the cybernetics core about to finish for Lope Dog. And we have more drones in production. This probe has snuck back into the main, actually harassing the drones on gas, but getting chased off by the drone. So we should see these lings. Yes, the lings certainly are coming back. Did he leave any at the front door? No, but I guess he figures he's got his overlord over here. You can see anything moving out. We do see the forge is spinning for the Protoss player. And he's trying to move in here on this probe and pick it off. But it does not have speed yet done. It's about halfway. We see the lair finishing, so we should have a fire going down at any moment here. Actually, we've got a Hydra Den. Is he going to go straight for Lurker? Are we going to see a 3-hatch Lurker, or is he going to throw down the Spire? I'm not sure, guys. He has the money. He got the lair. What do you want the lair for? Hydra Lurker? No. Yo, why'd you get lair? What is he doing with the lair? Whoa, okay, I don't know if this is, I imagine it's not, but we have a hatchery being placed here near the bridge, kind of outside the entrance of the natural choke. I still don't know why he got the lair. He hasn't made anything corresponding to this lair. This is strange, guys. Sorry that I can't help you here, but we've got seemingly a random lair. Zealot here. Actually, not just a Zealot. A bunch of Zealots coming out right now. How close is +1 to being finished? Should be quite close. Actually, not that close. It's kind of an early poke with the Zealots. No speed out yet either. No, that's just the creep calling. Why did you get lair? Why? Okay, there we go. Alright, so we are getting Overlord speed. I don't know if that's why he got lair, but he definitely has a lair. Cool Hydra here out now, chasing the Corsair around. And getting an arc set up here, I guess going to try and sort of get defensive over this bridge to hold on to his third base that way. And do we have Lope Dog continue to produce Corsairs? Yes, we do. But no spin on the core. No kills on that lone Corsair over there, though. Although attacking Overlord now, but just kind of nibbling at it as Hydras easily come down to defend. And what do we have here? More Corsairs. We've got leg speed about to be done. So he should be moving out with Zealots. And actually, this is a 3-gate push out here with Zealots from Lope Dog. So this is a pretty scary number of Zealots, and they will have their +1 attack done. So they're going to be really strong against these Lings of Zerg, as they will kill Lings in 2 hits instead of 3. Random stray Hydra here, not where he wanted it to be at all. We see he's finally started his Lurker, but they're definitely not in time to deal with all these Zealots. So this could be a fairly scary situation for games, as these Zealots are going to be extremely effective against the Lings, and the second colony is very out in the open, very exposed, quickly dying, more reinforcing Zealots streaming in. Can he get this cleaned up in time? There's actually a decent number of Hydras out, but he's running out of units pretty fast, although I actually don't even know how he cleaned that up. There were not that many Lings. He got a decent set of arc, and somehow he holds that. With the loss only of a creep colony and some Lings. And it looks like this is 4-hatch? So it's 4-hatch Hydra, 4-hatch Muta, 4-hatch Hydra into Muta. So now it is making Mutas, despite having gotten his lair. Maybe he said, okay, I lost all my Hydras, I'll just go ahead and make Mutas. I'm not really sure. Definitely a stranger build here than I've seen in a while from games. Going for lair, but then doing nothing with it for like 2 minutes, and then starting as Lurker, and then switching immediately into Muta, and hasn't even made a single Lurker so far. So we'll wait and see what he does with his Mutas, but Lope Dog was continuing to produce Corsairs. Has stopped though. There's actually only 3 Corsairs out. So, depending on the Scourge counts and other such things, he could do a little damage, just have 1 cannon in mineral line. I guess predicting and being prepared for that. Actually, have 2 here by this Nexus. And we do see more gateways being added, at least 2 more. And here comes the Mutas from Zerg, all nicely spread out so they don't clump and take ridiculous amounts of damage. Bakiru, I have no clue how he defend that. It just looked like Lope Dog had everything he needed to kill him, and then Lope Dog's units, like, just didn't work. Whoa, actually I lied about the lurkers, guys. There's a very small lurker contained here, nibbling away on this forge and at this gateway. You see the mutas. I don't know if they're going to have to be overly harassed here, as there are Corsairs out to defend. As we do see this forge getting very low on health, there will be no +2 anytime soon for Lokdog. See if he's going to opt to rebuild the forge anywhere in his main at the moment, and it looks like the answer is no. Let's see it. I do see gateway total going up to 5, as well as a robo. And that forge is dead, now focusing all its efforts on the gateways. He definitely had +1. He most certainly had +1. So, yeah. And I don't know, Zerg not really doing a whole lot with his mutas at the moment, just kind of scouting around with them. Having a gentle lurker contain here. As soon as he gets an obs out, though, he'll be able to get rid of those because it's just 3 lurkers. Oh, you know what? That might have been what it was. Is the fact that he did focus the Sunken instead of just letting his Zealots attack the Lings, and the Lings are definitely a much higher damage dealer than the Sunken. Alright, so we do see another gateway being added, and how close are we to having Ops? Alright, so an Ops is on the way. Lokdog saying, "I think you lag," with a smiley face. Interesting. More lurkers being produced as he switches into a lurkerling style here. Still on just 4 hatches though, so I really don't know what the ultimate gameplay from games is. I don't know if he's going to use these lurkers here to try and reinforce this, because throwing the lurkers here makes him like safe, but it doesn't really give him access to more bases, which he's going to want here at some point. And he does have a drone going down here. But, I don't know. He's got units out, but it's definitely not in a very, so we say, good position to defend this fourth, especially since at any moment right now, that moment being right now, Lokdog's going to come out here and bust these 3 lurkers, which he's doing a nice job up there. Trying to target on High Templar. Will he get it? No, just barely lived. Not quite able to focus it with that Ling. And we do see this Overlord here getting ready to go ahead and die to get Corsairs from Lokdog. And now the Muta coming back around here. He looks like he's going to go in for some High Templar snipes. That may be exactly what he intends to do. But he's got to be very wary of these Corsairs. Running into Corsairs is not exactly what he wanted to have happen with these Muta. But I guess there's enough that Lokdog is concerned and just decided to pull back. We can hear the sound of 1 Muta dying. And Lokdog using his relatively large army here to go ahead and secure a 3rd base for himself. Zerg having not yet started his 4th, although there is a drone in position to do so. And we see a big ball of lurkerling has been accumulated, and by big ball I mean very large ball. Yeah. Obviously this bridge is going to be pretty obnoxious. It'd be pretty hard to cross this bridge for Lokdog, especially if you were to reposition the lurkers just slightly, space them out around there. So it's definitely going to restrict his movement the way he kind of has built up to have control around that base, but he is really badly in need of more economy, because a Protoss on 3 bases is pretty terrifying for a Zerg that is also only on 3 bases. Moving in right now with the Mutas, I don't know what he set to target there, but it was definitely not a High Templar. And we see now that the Mutas are running back into the main, attacking a gateway. Probably not the best decision. Probably not the best decision given, whoa, I don't know why these probes are being transferred here. Now being transferred back to the minerals, and coming back in with all the goons trying to pick up and clean up this Muta. Actually gets another Muta picked off. And this army is just like, I don't know what he intends to do with this. Does he just intend to go for like 1 big drop and hope he wins the game with that, or what? Because he's just staying 3 base, 4 hat Zerg. I don't think he ever added even another hatch. 4 base, or 3 base, 4 hatch, high tech Zerg. So this will be really interesting. Random Zealot goes in there to die in his grave. And we see units now moving out. Maybe Zerg is going to go ahead and try and come down here and take more bases, but I don't know. We'll see if Lokdog comes over here and tries to deny this. I don't know if he's caught wind of this yet for sure. but he is starting to move. Lokdog definitely not too thrilled with the lag, saying hard for play. And it looks like we're going to actually have a really big time two-pronged attack from the Zerg trying to come in from both sides. Look at this Congo line of lings and crazy stuff stringing out. So the question is, Lokdog prepared for an army of this size from Games, who is moving in around the other side as well. Good storms going off here. The bottom flank has been totally cleaned up, and now he's just trying to move in with Ultra Ling, trying to assault this third nexus of the Protoss base, and he really needs to kill it. If he is unable to kill this, he's going to be extremely far behind. But beautiful storms going down, and it looks like, so far, Lokdog holding very nicely with these good storms here, not able to spread out the lings, and this will be easily held as there was no swarm with Darkstorm. This would have been an entirely different battle, but this does not look good at all now for Games, who has been thoroughly cleaned up, saying, yeah, hard, after having just lost that battle brutally, now behind 30 in supply. The Protoss is at 200, getting, looks like another weapon upgrade, and I don't know what Lokdog is doing here. Adding another gateway, and what does Zerg have? Zerg has 1-1, 3-1 on the Ultras, so that is not good for Zerg. 1-1 means these Zealots were also two-shotting all those lings. So Zealot's proving to be very effective in this battle. How close is he to? About halfway to 3-3. But now Lokdog is going to be extremely happy with his position, as he is now 3-base Protoss out against a Zerg that has only just tried to take a fourth. And this fourth almost, sorry that I missed this, guys. This fourth almost died, probably to a DT. But looks like he finally did get it up. Where did the DT go? Or more importantly, how did he get out? I'm a little surprised he hasn't added more Ultras, or added more Archons to his army, given that he has seen that there are Ultras on the field. But maybe he just knows that it's only a 3-gas Zerg, so he's not too terribly stressed. And actually looks like Lokdog is going to go ahead and try to take a fourth. Obviously the lag is really bad, both of them complaining about it. And it looks like Lokdog is slowly here moving his way over towards the third base. Games trying to have his stuff set up in somewhat of an arc so he can try to get a flank on this army as it runs in. And he is now going ahead and running in. This is definitely a bit better, and by a bit better I mean quite a bit better of a flank than before. Nice decision here by Lokdog to go ahead and try to move into a choke now, where he can get nice surface area by his Archons, good storms, clumping all this stuff up. But I still think there'll be more than enough units by game to go ahead and clean this up, because there's just so many Ultras in there. Yeah, that army from Protoss quickly falling. As we see, these are fully upgraded Ultras that have both the armor as well as the speed upgrade, as they're just booking it across the map, really moving. So here comes Games into the fourth of Lokdog, and this doesn't look too good for Lokdog here at this base. He's definitely going to lose it, unless he can get a whole lot of army over faster. Trying to defend, but more lings pouring in. The cannons are all dead now. So Zerg has free reign, going to go ahead and take out this next real quick, and re-equalize the game back to 3-base to 3-base. Which is still a bad position for Zerg to play in. Storm being sent off on the Ultra list. And the question is from here, what is Game's game plan? We definitely need more bases, need to do something about Lokdog's 3-base econ here. And Lokdog is starting to get some Reavers. Still a little surprised he hasn't added a few more Archons, since it looks like Games is sticking quite strongly by his Lurker Ling style of play. Yeah, actually, we can look at the APMs here. In fact, I'll move these so you guys can see APM as well. Yeah, neither of them appear to be playing particularly fast right now. Lokdog a little over 200, Games a little below 200. No, these guys are definitely not C-. These guys are definitely like A-, B+, somewhere in that range. And we see he's moving in here with a bunch of Ultras trying to take out this base before it can finish. And it looks like this Archon is going to go down quite quickly. Not looking good, as this base again denied. I'm slightly concerned for Lokdog because he's way low in supply and just has not been able to get another army together against these Ultras from Zerg. And this Archon dying, now powerfully trying to move the Ultras into the cannons and just tear through this, and I don't think there's enough army here from Lokdog. In fact, there's no army from Lokdog to defend these Ultras. Just the two cannons, although a clutch DC arrives, popping two Ultras almost on the same swipe, as both of them were low on health. Look Dog saying, "Eh, man." Games saying it's GG. Sorry. So sort of a semi-offensive GG here from Games. That's borderline offensive GG right there. So Loke Dog is not going to be too thrilled about this, I would imagine. As we see, he is re-adding a few cannons here, but so much more stuff from Zerg about to be streaming down that I just don't know if there's like anything he can do at this point. That is just a significant arc from Zerg. Look at those. At least, what, we got 8 ultras in there, 9 ultras, 10 ultras, 11 ultras. 11 ultras now charging in. Coming across here. Reaver shot. Can he get off a good enough scarab? No, I don't think it really matters. Too many links here. Storm does not go off. There's 1 or 2 DTs. It would be nice to get an overlord over there, deal with that, but not there at the moment. There we go. Now finally can clean that up. We see the third base is going to fall, and there's nothing left for Loke Dog to do. He's going to be forced to leave the game and or GT. So, not looking good at all. And yes, they are A-. So yeah, deal with it. We see this Nexus getting very low on health. As it's gonna die, there's just nothing left for Loke Dog to do. 2 more DTs already coming out. Speed Shuttle trying to bring the Reaver over, but at this point it doesn't matter. I think he's just prolonging the game because that was definitely a semi-offensive GG there from Game, which is not exactly the classiest thing to do by any means. Shuttle now flying back on up. Is there really anything he can do? Trying to pick at the elders with the Reaver, but really doesn't matter. Trying to run the elders now away from the Reaver, trying to hightail it. Not paying attention, Scourge, and the shuttle dies, leaving Loke Dog with absolutely nothing against the relatively not max, but relatively army happy Zerg. Game says better. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if this is like, yeah, Loke Dog, that definitely seems a little suspicious, because now Loke Dog's saying you lag on purpose. The only thing that would be slightly odd about that is if it was that laggy, why on earth would you make mutas? Like, mutas and lag doesn't work. Game saying, sorry man, I don't know, this is very interesting chat we got going right down. So, I don't know what to say. Loke Dog saying, can't believe. Trying to throw down, trying to hold, but there's way too many units in Zerg here. Reaver getting off 2 more clutch shots as it finally dies. I'm up, and Loke Dog leaves the game. Actually, to be honest, that was pretty good manner from Loke Dog, given what Game said and what he like implied. Sounds like it could be really whatever. But yeah, so Games does take that and is currently working his way up to just being 1 game away from a reverse all kill. So the question is, can he do it? Oh, sorry. Do you want me to go back and fast forward through it? Because I can if you want. Although I don't know how far behind my stream is from this. So if Games is able to win the next game, he will actually be able to go ahead and reverse all kill SAS, having used massed Ling play quite effectively in his first 2 games, and a nice job of Ultra Ling here in the last game. And despite losing horribly in the first battle, he was actually able to come back and beat Loke Dog, although there was apparently a lot of lag in that game. So we're moving into Game 6 on Icarus between SAS and NB here on Twitch TV Gambit Cup. Or is it Altitude or Twitch? I think it's Twitch, right? Alright, so spawning in the left-hand position at the 8 o'clock, or yeah, the 8 o'clock as the white Zerg, we have SAS Zaraki. So yeah. Can Zaraki hold off Games Mass Lings play, or will Games go for something different other than Mass Lings? And in the bottom position, as the purple Zerg, we have NB Games looking for a reverse all kill. Alright, Soy Princess, what rank are you on IC Cup? Is what I'd like to know. So in the left-hand position, we've got Zaraki here. I got to work on that. Zaraki. I want to say Zaraki or something. So we do see him continue to do that. And what do we have going on here? An Overlord and an Overlord for both players. So can NB Games opting to do the gas trick? Will we see another 10 hatch? We'll just have to wait and see. Overlord about to finish here for Zaraki. Look at this, guys. Look at this. He's got enough minerals saved up. It's going to be yet another 10 hatch. So Games again going to go for the Ling play, I assume. And he is again putting it at the natural. So this should get crazy. But look at this, We've got, I guess that was a 12 hatch though. So we've got 12 hatch against 10 hatch. So I would think in theory, Zaraki should be fine from this. But we'll have to see. As he will have the 2 hatches needed to deal with the Ling production here from Games, who is almost certainly going for the same build yet again. It seems to be Games' staple VBZ build. Zaraki's saying, wow. I don't know if you're talking about lag or what, but either way, we see the gas and the pool on the way for both players. How is the timing? So like pool slightly first for Games, and gas was first for Zaraki. Actually, that's interesting. I think that was 12 hatch, but then he gets, no, I don't know. Maybe he just has faster stuff, I don't know. As we wait to see here, we see the hatch is almost done here and is done for Games. The Overlord just now scouting and arriving to go ahead and see that. Yeah, that was pretty weird. This Sakwe watching that battle, like it was weird. I was just like, oh, the game's over, and then it was like, what? He defended that? Yeah, someone please. Sakwe, can you please play Soy Princess? That would be quite hilarious. Either way, we see Lair on the way now for Games, which has been pretty typical of him. He does a Massling build, but he goes ahead and gets the Lair so he can transition into Neutalisks if he so desires. See now an Overlord coming in. And he's going to have full knowledge of everything that's going on as Lings are being produced and speed is almost done. And here come Lings from Zaraki, so it looks like Zaraki is going to Ling pressure the Ling aggressor himself. Although it could be, or Games should have, in theory, a few more Lings because his second hatch was done slightly faster, so we'll see how this goes for Zaraki if he actually tries to attack, because he'll be attacking into Games. Will be set up with a much better concave. 2 Lings coming in there just to take a look at what they see. As we wait, okay, Zaraki's just going to go ahead and pull back, and we'll see what is Games' transition from here. He's just going ahead and adding the Spire, and actually switching back and making drones, so it looks like upon having scouted what build Zaraki was doing is not opting for the mass Ling. And Zaraki should have seen that he was sneaking in some drones, so he's getting his Ling mass ready, and maybe thinking about attacking, because he seems to have a very, very large, very significant amount of Lings, and he is definitely behind in the... Actually, no, never mind, equal Spire times. Alright, so we'll see what Zaraki can do from here, because he's got quite a few Lings, so we'll see what he can do here for the micro, if he can keep these apart nicely and have good control as he goes in here to attack. I should hope, trying to pick at him, but they're all in hold position. Nice little cute play there by Games. And here we go. All right. I don't know if Games want to do this. The arc is definitely a little bit better initially there for Zaraki, but there are so many lings all of a sudden from Games, and all of a sudden just continuing to win the battle, tearing through them. I don't know, man. Zaraki's now on the retreat, and he's making a few drones at the time. I don't know if this is the right time for that. There are a ton of lings all of a sudden out for Games, and Zaraki really needs to get a defensive position to try and hold. But this is a very, very scary situation. We see the lings right now running in here, trying to throw down a sunken. Will he have enough time? I don't know. It's going to come down to the micro, but just so many lings from Games. It looks like all the lings from Zaraki are just about dead. And will he yet again succumb to the mass ling plays of Games, who is again tearing through everything now? There's tons of lings left for Games, and Zaraki just says GG. Games, NB Games reverse all kill stats using mass lings in 3 ZDZs, and a crazy game against the Sakwe, where in multiple instances it looks like the Sakwe would just win, and somehow his attacks just didn't work. So, I don't know. Crazy Games. And nice job to Games for his all-kill. So, yeah, NB is your winner in that series, 4-2. And I'm going to pause the stream